What's up guys, it's Guy Kool-Aid. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I made my new song, Everything We Love. You guys have shown a lot of great support for this song. I personally really like this song as well. I think it might probably be my second favorite song next to Lover. But yeah, I'm going to be showing you guys how I made the song from start to finish. Not start to finish from terms of production, because if that was the case, I would be showing you guys how I made the drop first and then everything else. I'm going to be showing you guys start to finish, as in things you hear in the song from start to the end. So, here we go. So the intro isn't too complicated. I mean, I try to keep my intros pretty simple. You got a piano right here. Oh. The piano is, hold on, I think it's, yep, here we go. It's Model D from, hold on, if it'll open, there we go. Oh, there we go. I actually opened the effects for once. It is, uh-oh. It's the Model D piano in UVI Workstation. Normally you'd actually be able to see the piano in the interface, but I guess you can see all the effects on it. I've been using this piano more recently in some of my newer tracks. Yeah, there isn't much to say about it. It's just a really nice piano. If I was able to show this tab here, you can change the tonality of it, so you can make it sound harsher or softer. In this case, I kind of went for more of a default sound, basically. The effects on this piano, don't complain about the master, it is beautiful. Soundganizer on A mode, and a fruity reverb. I don't tend to overcomplicate anything when I do my mixing. I try to keep it pretty simple unless I'm doing other genres. But in this case, I try to keep it really simple. The only time I'll do more with the piano is if I need to EQ certain frequencies out. Anyways, we also have some ambiences. So the ambience is here. This one actually I made myself using a guitar and flex by just taking a note and pitching it up and adding a whole bunch of reverb on it. You also have this ambience from the Anorak sample pack. You have a piano ambience. If y'all are wondering why this sample specifically sounds familiar, it's the same piano ambience Rinse and Bad Reputation used in their song In Your Arms. We have a J Hertz vocal shot. And another ambience here. I tend to layer up on ambiences kind of the same way MHA does to help my songs sound more full and give it more emotion as well. Anyways, let's move on to the next part.
I must have lost control. Don't wanna watch you go. You've got my heart and soul. Never thought it'd all come down to this.
So of course, the vocals come in. We have a few new sounds. We have this tonal Atmos from the Tega pack. We have a pad right here. And this pad is, hold on, it is Flex. It is the Still Night preset from Arcs and Cityscape. I use Flex a lot in my songs. I don't know why people sleep on this plugin in FL Studio so much. It has so many nice sounds if you're willing to search enough for it. Let's see. We also have this guitar here. Which is also Flex. It's the brighter humbucker extra. I kind of just increased the tone just to kind of give it more brightness to it. Oh, I don't want to make it that big. The effects on the guitar are Soundgodizer just to beef it up more. I don't know why this EQ is here. I think I added the EQ just to get rid of some lows, but I kind of made it sound too radio-like. Some Valhalla Supermassive for the reverb. And this sidechain is actually just here for the extended mix. So, we also have this bass here. Which is just like an acoustic bass. It isn't a Reese bass. And it is also Flex. I tend to use Flex quite often. It is the T-Bird picked in Essential Bass Guitars. A lot of the Essential instrument packs have really nice and organic sounds. I prefer to use them over Spitfire audio samples because, not samples, presets, because they just have a louder tone to them, and I don't have to do a lot of mixing to them. I don't think there was any effects on the pad. I don't know if I mentioned any effects. Was there? Oh, there's not. Anyways, moving on.
I must have lost control. Don't wanna watch you go. You've got my heart and soul. Never thought it'd all come down to this. I've gotta let you know I'm always taking blows. You're trying to break my walls. I can't seem to stop destroying everything.
So we have a bit of just a acoustic drum loop that I added. I tend to do this quite often with my songs. I kind of just like the feel of an acoustic drum loop. Nothing crazy, just a drop clap loop, a ride loop, and an acoustic kick with a percussion loop. Funny enough, the acoustic kick in this is just a stock FL Studio preset, not preset, sample. Yeah, there's not much going on for the breakdown pretty much. So, the next part is kind of this pre-build-up part.
Everything we love, it's not chemistry that's making me mess it up. I think I'm brave enough. It's not destiny destroying everything we love. I'm gonna
I forgot to actually mention, there's actually strings in the drum breakdown, and they sound like this here. And those strings, once again, flex the all string sustain from Essential Strings. And the mixing on it is actually a preset, a stock FL preset. It's the Mastering for Strings preset. All I did with it is I just turned off this annoying parametric EQ because it was causing some annoying frequencies to resonate. I'll show you what I mean. If I turn this on, it sounds really bad. I didn't really like the ringing frequencies that it created, so I just turned that off there. Other than that, all it does is make it wider, gives it reverb, compresses it a little bit. And for the pre-build-up, have this little bell pluck here playing main melody with a little bit of, I don't know what you call these, this one here, not that, what you call these, that there. All it is just another bell and flex. It's the DX7 vibe from the, I'm probably going to butcher this name completely, Save Seamer synthwave pack. And the effects on this, I don't think there's zero effects because all the effects that are going on are just the reverb and delay within the plugin. And I've actually used this bell as well in my song, not everything. Is it gonna be part 2? I used the same bell in the build-up for that song. Let's go right to the build-up actually.
It's not chemistry that's making me mess it up. I think I'm brave enough. It's not destiny destroying everything we love.
So the build-up is pretty simple. I got transitional effects, some risers, a sub drop, build-up snares. Have this little chord fill right here in the middle of it, which is actually Vital. I tend to use Vital pretty often since it's a good substitute for Serum. It's just a really distorted super saw. And that's pretty much the build up there, other than, oh, actually, I actually have the lead here. That's just quietly playing in the background. Just being filtered in. And that leads us right into the drop, right before this fill here. This is actually from a pack that, if anyone wants it, just let me know in the comments if anyone wants this sample pack that this fills from. It's just a pack just full of future bounce fills. So we have the drop now here. So the drop isn't too complicated, especially for the drums. The drums are just a Taiga kick, Get bounced clap with the dirty palm clap one and the custody future bounce clap one. And I got stabs here. It's just two stabs, the C-Lock stab and the stab 3F, along with some percussion, like some of these DP samples. This alibi perk and the Your Love perk. There is just like one Brooks percussion right here. And all of those together sound like this. This little fill number 2 thing here, I actually made it myself in Vital. Let me see if I can find it right here. Yeah, it's this right here. Wait, no, not that one. This one here. All it is a bit crush square wave with kind of just another analog wavetable. A little bit of compression, some chorus, and some bit crush with a downsample distortion. And the effects I used on that was a parametric EQ, just cleaning up the lows, some sound goodizer just to beef it up, Camel Crusher to add more distortion and more compression. I think what I was going to do with the Supermassive is that I was going to have it quickly actually sweep up as soon as the pattern ended, and then cut it right off, but I decided just to keep it dry. I don't know why this kick starts failing to load. It might be because this project was on my old PC. The second part of the drop has a few new other drum elements in it. Drop clap and a hi-hat loop. A little trick I can recommend for drop claps. I'm going to show you guys this. This is a really good trick that I learned. You're going to make your future bounce tracks sound a lot better and sound a little cleaner as well. What you want to do with your drop claps, hold on, right here, is you want to add 2 side chains to it. You want to add one that's just a long kick so that it makes the clap really short, so it sounds like this instead of this. And then with the second one, you want to use a extreme short shape with it, so it kind of has more of this stab-like feel in the clap instead of a harsh clapping sound to it. So let's go over the synths now. All of the synths together right here. The lead sounds like this here. And for the lead, I'm not using too many layers. Let's go down each of them one by one. The first layer is a Vital preset. This is actually going to be part of my second version of Fire Future Bounce. The next one is a Venom shot, which is like a vocal shot. I've used this one more recently in a few of my songs. Actually, I think this is the first song that I've released. I've actually used this one, but I'm probably going to be using this shot more often. Next one is, again, another Venom shot. Basically a super sauce shot. next one is, once again, another future bounce like Super Saw. Another Venom shot. Once again, another future bounce lead. It also kind of has a bit of a vocal tone to it. This next one, this one's an actual vocal tone like one. The next one is actually a shot from a Styx sample pack, actually from their Stamp Records style sample pack. And the last two are actually Vital presets. Don't mind. Don't mind the name of the presets. I'm probably going to get roasted for this lead here, but it's not really much. It's just your basic distortion equalizer on it. And this next one is actually one that I've used pretty often. I think you guys might have seen it in a few of my FLPs. I just tend to use this lead pretty often in any of my future bounce tracks because it has that really nice distortion in it, and it has a good amount of mid presence in it. And the last layer is actually just some white noise just to give it more presence. And all of those together sound like this. And the mixing on all my leads, in case anyone's wondering, is an EQ. This is just to help get rid of the lower frequencies, also boost some mids. Disperser with patcher. OTT at 36%. Kilohertz distortion. Camel crusher with British clean preset. I'm pretty sure everyone knows to use this one. More EQ, just cleaning up lows that were created by distortion and boosting the mids even more. Valhalla Supermassive for the reverb automation. Soundgodizer on B mode. This was a fresh air, but I'm having trouble with getting fresh air on my new computer, so I'm just using Tilt EQ. This kind of just helps to increase the brightness of the lead. This is how it would sound without it. And this is with it. It's very subtle, but it does add a little bit more to it. And for sidechain, it's just kickstart too. Another thing I did actually in this for the lead was that I added a volume automation and I linked it to this channel here, which is actually just holding the filter and the fruity bounce, just cutting off the lead at certain parts. Just kind of making it a little bit more choppy. Next I have the bass here. The bass has these layers. I don't know why the sub bass came first, but it sounds like this, and it's just the Fire Basic preset. Speaking of which, yeah, here comes the self-promotion moment. If you guys haven't gotten my Future Bounce sample pack yet, it'll be free for you guys to get. I'll put it in the link. I'll put the link in the description for you guys to check it out. But this is how the sub bass sounds. Nothing special. The next layer is this bass, which is actually one of my signature basses. Next layer is another layer. This is actually going to be part of volume 2 of Fire. Just to kind of help add that grit to the bass. Next layer is one that's actually in Fire, which is kind of like your stereotypical Future Bounce bass. Next layer is another one from the second version of Fire that's going to be coming. And the last layer is a layer I like to use quite often from Fire. It kind of just helps add a little bit of sizzle to the sound. I'll show you what I mean by how it adds a little bit of sizzle. This is what the bass sounds like without this preset here. It sounds nice without it, but when you add it, it just adds that little extra to it. So that's the bass there. The mixing on the mid bass layers, I have them all in one channel, and I have an EQ just ticking out the sub region, disperser with patcher, OTT at 29% depth, M saturator. This preset is the bass preset. This really helps increase the loudness of it. It makes it much bigger, in my opinion. British Clean preset on Camel Crusher. A parametric EQ just to get rid of the lows since they were reintroduced by distortion. Sound Goodizer on B mode. I don't know why this is here. Actually, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, this is the bass, but I'm not sure what. Oh, I know what this is. This is for like the fake out in the second drop, and just sidechain with kickstart. The sub bass, there's literally nothing other than just sidechain on it. The next part was the chords here. So the chords here are, hold on, which pattern is it? Actually, I could just do this. There we go. Are only just 3 presets. We got this one. This is the Together preset and my sample pack. Next one is A Click from Fire. And the last preset is the AVST chords from AVST's sample pack. And the mixing on this are all in one channel. got an EQ just getting rid of the low end. Oh. An OTT with 32% depth on it. A fruity soft clipper. Valhalla Supermassive for that little sweep that you're hearing from the chords. Soundgoodizer on A mode. A fruity parametric EQ just tampering down the highs since they were sounding a little bit too harsh with the compression. And a fruity love filter for the fake out later. And kickstart on it. So this is how all of the synths sound together. So that there is the drop here. I have this little fill I added here. I have this growl that I added at the end of the bass. This Brooks fill. And the chord fill from the build-up right here. And right before the second half starts, I have another bass shot from the Brooks sample pack. The only difference with the lead in the second part is I have this first lead that I made by just exporting it out. It's just adding a whistle to it, which is, where are they? Yep, these two presets. Both linked to the same channel, and the whistles have an EQ clearing out all of the mids and lows. No TT. Like I said, fresh air wasn't working, so I just used, I didn't use tilde EQ. I just added dispersion on it. The same reverb for the leads. Soundgoodizer on A mode, and kickstart too. So the whistles aren't too complicated. I tend to mix my whistles separately from my leads because I don't like to have really distorted whistles. I prefer them to be more clean and bright. So this is how they sound alone. Along with the leads, they sound like this. So yeah, that's the entire drop here. I did add a little cutoff frequency, not cutoff frequency, a little cutoff automation here at the end of the drop. That leads us into
I know it's getting old. We want what's long been sold. I'm never gonna say I'm over it. I've gotta let you know I'm always taking blows. You're trying to break my walls. I can't seem to stop destroying everything.
So the second break is a little different. I'll explain how. I just added this little cinematic drum loop here. Just to add intensity and energy into it. Added this little fill here. And just a little glitch sweep. And that brings us into this, I don't know what you would call it. I would call it like a future bass breakbeat part. I'll show you what's going on in this. I have this Cymatics future bass kick, along with a couple of future bass snares, like this one's from Styx. This one's from, wait, that's not it. This one here. Just from, I can't remember what pack it was. It was one from a YouTuber called Trava Beats. He makes a lot of good sample packs for rap music, EDM, you name it. And just a couple of progressive house drum loops. Just to kind of add a little bit more to the drums. So the drums together sound like this. And for all the synths, let's show you what's going on here. We have kind of this feature bass chord like thing. That's not it, that's the guitar. Here we go. It's just 3 layers. First one sounds like this, which is basically like a distorted, well, it's not even distorted, it might be distorted by the mixing, it's just a basic Millennium chord. Same thing, just with a little bit more layers, actually just 2 more layers, some more detune, and this layer here. Basically a more detuned layer with a square wave on it. All of them together sound like this. And the mixing on all of them is a EQ getting rid of all the low end, OTT at 35% depth, kilohertz distortion, just using a little bit of it. I didn't want it to make it too crunchy. Just the same thing, getting rid of lows and reintroduced by distortion. Sound Goodizer on D mode. A tilt EQ just to make it brighter. And the fruity balance is what's for the reverb, and I'll explain that later. The bass is kind of a more gritty bass. It's just 2 layers. It's this Millennium bass from Kling Music's Illuminati future bass sample pack. It's just a detuned super saw with white noise, and I think I separately mixed it from the sub and distorted the crud out of it. And the sub, same sub from earlier. This is just a simple sub bass I made myself. The mid bass, where is it? Here it is. Just getting rid of the sub, OTT at 45% depth because I want to really push this bass. I used fold back distortion to make it really crunchy. Sound Goodizer on B mode, and fruity bounce for the sidechain, which I'm now going to show. So what I did after I made the chords and bass is that I chopped them up and did different LFO shapes, as you can see, like actually just 2 LFO shapes here. On this end, I kind of made another LFO wave shape here, and I'm just slowly turning down the LFO speed so it sounds like this. So that, with the drums, sounds like this. I think I turned the sub off by accident, and there it is. And the build-up is pretty much the same thing. It's nothing different from this build-up over here. The only difference in this drop is that there's a little fake out. I'll show you. So what I did for this fake out is that I kind of separated the kicks a little bit by doing something like this. I had this little bass fill. And for the synths, I'll show you what each of them are doing individually. So the lead is actually having its highs removed at the second part. The bass is having its low end removed. The chords having the high end removed. So that's pretty much the second drop. The second drop isn't too crazy, except for this kind of just last part, basically the outro. The only things that have been added there are the same piano ambiences from the intro, just being sidechained. And the transitional effects are just a tonal transition and an impact. So that's pretty much the entire song here. I'll go over the vocal processing actually. So this vocal I actually got from vocal.com. It's a website I can recommend. You can get all kinds of vocals there. You can get non-exclusive vocals, exclusive vocals, free vocals, whatever you need from there. And on the mixing for the vocals, I'm not doing too much with it. I'll show you what I do with my vocals. Let's see.
I must have lost control. Don't wanna watch you go.
So what I did with this one, this is actually a mixing chain I use quite often. I only have this auto-tune plugin, M Auto Pitch. Anytime I'm working with real recorded vocals, just to help auto-tune them, but I turn this off since these vocals are already auto-tuned. I added a fruity limiter just to get rid of any white background noise. OTT just to kind of bring it out more. Saturator to push it more forwards, more fat and in your face. Hold up. I actually just used M compressor just to expand it more. It works as an expander here. A parametric EQ. What I'm doing here is getting rid of the lows and kind of moving a little bit of a resonant frequency here. And just some fruity reverb. This is actually what it sounds without any of that processing.
I must have lost control. Don't wanna watch you go.
Very dull, very dry. Once you add all these effects, it pushes it out more and makes it more full, more bright.
I must have lost control. Don't wanna watch you go.
Obviously, when you're mixing your vocals, it can vary depending on whether there's resonant frequencies you need to get rid of, whether you want to add some auto-tune to it, whether you need to add a de-esser to get rid of any very harsh consonants, whether you need to add a noise gate to get rid of any background noise. Just a lot of factors come into play when it comes to mixing vocals. But there's not much I can say about this track. I have to say, compared to the last breakdown I did of my song My Life, this shows a lot more improvement with my mixing. I could show you what my master chain actually looks like here. I have M compressor using the mix bus punch preset. OTT just 8% depth. Vastos, I would recommend this plugin. It's not as good as Soothe, but the way that this works basically is it helps to get rid of any resonant frequencies. If you press this button, you can actually, not this one, I think it's this one. Yeah, you can actually solo all the resonant frequencies.
I must have lost control. Don't wanna watch you go.
Yeah, it just works to get rid of any resonant frequencies. This EQ here is actually just working to get rid of any frequencies that can't be heard with the human ear, like everything here and everything here. Next, I added a stereo imager. This is one that I can recommend if you don't want to have to blow out, if you don't want to go out to blow out your money on Ozone Imager. It's Monster by White Elephant Audio. It's a free stereo imager, multiband stereo imager. It allows you to control the stereo width of certain frequencies. So in this case, I have my bass more mono, I have my mids a little stereo, and I have my highs really stereo. You can also mute the bands, you can bypass the effects, you can solo the bands. It's a really versatile plugin. I have two saturators here actually, because on this saturator I have it set to a 2 decibel input gain reduction. Give me one sec. Okay, so the reason why there's two saturators on this master is because one is set to a 2 decibel gain reduction, and the other is set to a 4 decibel gain. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not sure. It just increases the input by 4 decibels, all while keeping it under 0 dB. After that, I just have a limiter just to keep everything under 0 dB, and this usually allows me to just to analyze it all. This track was mixed at about 4-5 LUFS. That's kind of the standard now. But overall, I have to say this song has really shown that I've improved a lot over the last few years. So I'm really glad a lot of people have enjoyed it. I enjoy the song a lot, as I said. So if you guys want me to do more breakdowns of the songs that I've made, just let me know. See you guys.